Hey y'all, I'm Miss Katie.
And I'm little Miss Homemaker.
Welcome to Heritage Ways on YouTube. Where tonight we're making French toast for supper.
Yum.
Easy, easy. So let's make an easy supper. We have cracked, little Miss Homemaker has cracked a dozen eggs. Actually, it's not a dozen, it's 11, but you know, close enough. Go ahead and whisk those.
Hold it with one egg short.
Yeah, it's okay. Easy, y'all. And you know, this would be good for a new cook. Okay, we're gonna put a dash of salt. Okay, 3-4 dashes. And I'm going to put a splash of vanilla. This is homemade vanilla. It's made out of Buffalo Trace bourbon. And I've got a video about how to make vanilla. So I'm putting a splash. Then I'm gonna put some honey. You can do whatever, it's probably 2 or 3 tablespoons. You could do whatever sweetener you want, maple syrup, you know, whatever you want to use. Or really none even. You can put your sweetener only on top at the end, you know, as in syrup. Then, okay, now let me feel it. I'll have to feel things, don't I, to know if they're cooked or ready. So I need to know, this is pretty good. Okay, now here is something that y'all may or may not, these are essential oils. At this time, I order from 3 different companies, but that's going to stop soon. Right now I've got a doTERRA On Guard and a local from my natural lady, 4 Thieves from Breath of Life in Franklin. I could not find my Young Living Thieves, and that's what I wanted to use in here. But since I don't have that, I'm going to put 1 drop of the On Guard. Now, if you're not familiar with these Thieves type essential oils, they have cinnamon, well, let's just read it. Orange, clove, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. All right, so that's what I'm gonna use for this. You might prefer just a drop of orange oil.
That's my favorite.
It is your favorite, but that's fine. This is totally your preference. You can leave it out. This is to have a cinnamony flavor because I'm short right now on herbs and seasonings and things. So I'm gonna use my essential oil. So just 1 drop. I don't want more than 1 drop. 1's gonna be enough. So that's kind of a cinnamon layer. And then here's my raw cow's milk. Now you could use any milk, almond milk, goat's milk, or whatever. And we're not going to use this much. I'm only going to use enough to, just feel it. What am I adding? I don't know, is that about a cup maybe?
That's probably.
Now, in the past, I have used orange juice and milk combination, and that will make it orangey. So that's good. So yeah, I probably added about a cup or a scant cup maybe to our eggs.
If you added the orange, it would be like orange toast.
Yes, it's good. And then if I added the orange juice, I wouldn't add these essential oils.
Okay, I just put something in.
Or you could add your cinnamon powder. I'm teaching her how to make this tonight, and I'm just asking y'all to come along for the ride, so I hope y'all don't mind that. But you could use cinnamon, a ground cinnamon, a pinch of clove, or you could use, you know how I make my chai spice blend, you could use that. Or how I make my apple pie and pumpkin pie spice blend, you could use that. But your basic French toast is just your eggs and your liquid, which is your milk of some sort, and then your flavorings. You could leave out your vanilla if you needed to. And now, pardon me?
It would probably taste better with the vanilla.
Yeah, I hope it'll be great. All right, here's the thing. It's called French toast because it was made, the idea was with French bread. And you could cut it diagonally and have it, you know, kind of a diagonal looking shape, and it's pretty that way. Also, the idea is this is a good way to use it. Stale bread that is not fresh, okay? It may have been sitting out and got a little bit leaning on the toasty side. Do you know what I mean? When I say stale, not fresh, opposite of fresh. You don't have to throw out stale bread unless it's molded.
Yeah, you don't eat mold.
Right, well, not in this case. So this is just plain old Texas toast from the store. So really, we've got them in here. We wedged them in there so that they're touching, and that's okay. And we're gonna just slowly pour this on our bread. If this were stale bread, which it is not, it is fresh, and if the bread was a denser consistency. Now, little Missy, this bread is a light, airy bread. Dense means, I guess, how do I explain it to you? Thicker. You know, a dinner roll is not dense. It's light and fluffy. So dense would be the opposite of light and fluffy.
Yes, ma'am.
So if this were a dense bread, like a French bread, and if it were stale, then it would take a little bit longer to soak in the egg mixture. Since this is not stale, dense, thick bread, it does not take long for the egg mixture to soak in. So we're really just going to turn all the pieces here.
Oh, now that actually looks like what it would look like in a restaurant.
Yeah. And just know that we probably needed that extra egg when we did the 11 and not the 12. But, yeah. In fact, we might need to add a little bit more, mix up a little bit more mixture. I'd say our 1 egg per piece of bread is a good estimate, good ratio. And then I'd say, if I was writing this recipe, I'd say about 1.5 cups of liquid to go with that.
Yeah, we're gonna need more.
Yeah, let's mix up just a little bit more. So we'll come back to our friends when we've mixed up. Let's break 3 more eggs. Let's do that. So we left it for a minute, and we broke 3 more eggs and put in about probably a little more than 1/2 cup of milk, and then just some salt.
That says you'll probably need to put 13 eggs so you can do each side.
Yeah, so let's write the recipe down at the bottom, and let's tell them 14, let's say 14 eggs,
Okay.
and 1.5 cups of liquid, and then the flavorings, okay? All right, so we're just gonna fill in.
All the little spots.
Yeah. Now, you do want it soaked with egg, because if you don't, you're just gonna be frying just white bread. I mean, you know, you're just gonna be frying white bread. Just want it to absorb all that egg. So I just move it around like this. You could put it in a different pan, but we just wanted to give you the basic idea
Easy.
of how to do this. So it may seem complicated because we didn't know the exact measurements, but it's really not. You know how to do it now, don't you? And this is your first time.
And
So-
I could probably remember because it's really easy.
You can freeze these. You can have them put them in the freezer and have them for later. And just either microwave them, which I don't like a microwave, or heat them up however you want to. In a skillet, I don't know if it'd work in a toaster, but maybe a toaster oven.
You could have breakfast ready for the next morning.
You could. That'd be great. You know, one thing I like to do is I've always liked to go to the frozen food section at the grocery store and see what they have frozen, and then I get ideas. Because I think, I didn't know I could freeze that, or that's a good idea. I could make that casserole and freeze it. So that's a tip that I love to do. Always have. Okay, friends. Well, I have our Hot Lodge cast iron griddle here, and I'm just going to. I've got my heat on medium, and I'm just going to put these up here. Now, I'm not going to move these around. I'm just going to, cut. I'm going to turn them over once, and that's it. I'm just going to make room for everybody here.
And is there a tip for our friends how you can know which one you've turned over already? So you don't go back and turn it back over?
Well, that's a good question. You should be able to tell by looking. At this point, we could also sprinkle if we had cinnamon sugar mixed up, which we typically do, but we don't right now since everything's packed.
Yes, ma'am.
So we could sprinkle that, and that would be good to make cinnamon sugar crusted. There are all kinds of things you can do. You can fancy this up, but this is just a basic recipe, just a basic method, right? And that's what I
Yes,
want
ma'am.
you to learn and our friends. Okay, now
Like
see, I'm
easy
gonna
supper.
easy supper.
Every time you just wanted an easy supper, just make
See?
this.
Isn't that nice looking?
Yes, ma'am. This is exactly what you get in a restaurant.
Oh, this is going to be better. And do you know how cheap it is to make? And they charge a lot in a restaurant. You know what? I've taught y'all that.
Someone's making it for you, and they think it's a lot of work.
Well, I know. But, And then we're going to serve it. We're going to cook up this uncured bacon. I try to get uncured if I can. So we're going to serve that up with it tonight. So I think that'll be a good supper, something different. We haven't had French toast in a long time. Okay, so we're finishing up. I can tell just from experience, I know they're fluffing up, they're firm when I touch them. See, I turn it over so you can tell. All right,
So yummy.
look at that. So we're gonna put them in here. We're not gonna eat right away. Mr. Patient's outside mowing for one of the last 2 times before we move. You know what? You could serve this you could fancy it up. You could put fruit on top. You could cut it at an angle and serve it on your plate. You could sprinkle cinnamon sugar. You could put some Ready Whip, you know, that whip stuff in a can that I get sometimes. You could do that. You can make it really fancy. Like I said, did I say sliced fruit? You could do sliced fruit.
Just made me do.
I could see bananas, fresh fruit, canned fruit.
I could see strawberries in there.
Oh, strawberries and whipped cream.
You could do a strawberry all over the piece of bread, then whipped cream up to the top, and then 1 strawberry or cherry on top.
And you could fancy it up and decorate it on the plate.
That's what I like to do. Decorate.
All right, friends. Well, this is it. This is our French toast. We are not going to fancy it up for y'all today. We just are basic this week, this month, this season in our home. Basic, and that's what we wanted to share with y'all. Just a basic French toast recipe. So we're going to leave it up to your imagination how you want to doctor it up and make it, customize it for your family. So thanks for watching us today, and hope you will enjoy this frugal recipe from our kitchen to yours. Have a good day, y'all.
Bye.